We are back once again with episode 4 of the TunedIn Podcast. Already episode 4.
I know, it's gone very quick, actually.
Yeah, we've already branched out, haven't we? Already had our guest on last week.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Did you enjoy that podcast?
I did enjoy that, but we did get a bit drunk.
I mean, we were drinking, so what do you expect?
As you expect. Do you remember when you said that in it was the second podcast? You know, when I drink, I like to get drunk.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we
it was
lived
the
up to
first
it.
one, actually. But, yeah, no, exactly. I mean...
I thought it was good, though. It was a shame about afterwards, because we mentioned about how there was the kind of event going on whereby we were going to promote the TunedIn Podcast, where we did. We wore the hoodies.
Yeah, we wore we wore the hoodies. That was about it, really.
Yeah, we had some issues. Kai got too drunk, and I had to take him home, so...
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I mean...
So we couldn't, you know...
Yeah, we both got pretty
hammered.
I mean, Jack as well, bearing in mind he was the one kind of...
Yeah.
Obviously organising the night.
Yeah, but then you could tell Jack was pretty drunk by the end of the podcast.
I think you could tell from quite early on, I'll be honest. But I mean, maybe that's just because I've probably seen me and you drunk a bit more often.
Yeah, I thought it was quite amusing though, just because we loosened up quite a lot, which I think the listeners wanna hear, because I'm sure listening to us sober is so entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
but when we're drunk, a bit loose.
Yeah. I mean, so when we filmed a little skit as well, the last episode,
that was fun.
That was really fun. Great idea as well.
It took ages though, didn't it? It took ages because we couldn't sit back down afterwards because everyone was a bit.
I was just about to say, like, that was the bit where I noticed we were actually getting drunk, because you know, like when you go to the toilet and you don't think you're drunk, and then when you come out the toilet, you're like,
yeah, no, it's when you look in the mirror, you're like, are you looking at me, mate?
Yeah, it was like one of them moments, except for you're not looking at yourself. You just have a second to kind of not be switched on.
It was like I was that camera in the corner of the room looking down at everyone, just like, we're all acting up a bit weird.
I mean, yeah, and we're actually going to post it after this, but...
a couple bloopers.
Yeah, a little bit. It was basically just me being an idiot.
Yeah, you being an absolute moron.
Yeah, knocked over, I think, 2 drinks on 2 separate occasions, which, you know...
Spilling the AU all over the gaff.
Yeah, it happens. But what can we say? That was definitely the moment where I realised, and there's a little bit of you as well, where you're just like, guys, be serious.
Yeah, you know, this is what I mentioned before, though. I am the serious one out of the lot.
Stop being out of order. I'm not trying to be an idiot. Just listen.
Guys, come on. Like, we have to do this. Come on.
But yeah, so that was good fun, and definitely like excited to get on more guests.
Shout out Jono as well for obviously
100%
blessing us the hoodie and the tea.
That was really cool, and even coming on as well. Like, I don't think he was expecting to come on, so we kind of had 2 guests.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'd mentioned to him earlier on in the day about the skit, and once I told him about that, he said, "Yeah, that sounds quite cool."
Yeah, no, it was definitely good.
I think he did well as well.
Really well. Yeah, like really well. And really, I mean, we had to take it twice because he didn't speak into the microphone.
Yeah,
the first time.
It's because we had those handheld mics, didn't we?
But like, you know, twice to record something like that is actually not a lot.
It made me laugh so much. You see it in one of the reels that we posted, where he goes up to Jack and just snatches the mic out of his hand, and Jack just stands there and just laughs.
Yeah, he's just like so confused.
Yeah, no, it's good. But anyway, as much else occurred since then?
TikTok sensation.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
John.
But
so in last episode, our guest Jack mentioned he's coming to 2 of his club nights, which has been and gone by then. Like as in present day,
taking him out for dinner and everything.
Yeah, they actually
very executive.
You mentioned about the Chinese order.
Yeah.
And when I told my sister about him, because she finds him really funny, she was like, "Have you heard his Chinese order?" And I was like, "Jack's literally out." I showed on my phone. Jack's literally out having Chinese with him now.
Do you reckon it was an expensive bill?
I don't know who would have picked it up.
Surely Jack. Jack's looking after him.
Yeah, I know, but still, like,
because then it's also his 2 sons. Because one of his sons is the boxer. He seems to be doing well in.
And he's got his own business as well.
Oh, really?
Something to do with steel. I don't know. It's something in the construction industry.
Do you know much about his boxing?
Not really, I'll be honest. I know
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I know he had his first fight recently.
Right.
And he won. But yeah, it looks cool. But yeah, so he Jack kindly asked him to give us a shout out in a little video.
Yeah.
And you're probably better at doing the impression, so do you want
to
say what he said?
What did he say? He was like, "Oh yeah, share the TunedIn Podcast." Bosh.
So he got our name completely wrong. But shout out to him still.
It was aspects. It was like the what's it called? Oh, syllables. Like the syllables were correct and everything.
Yeah,
but
I do
it
see
was
what you
just
mean,
slightly off.
Yeah, but actually, like you said, it kind of made it funnier.
I thought it was quite original, the Boschcast.
Yeah, he's going to steal that and take it for himself.
He's probably already got it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he probably, just gave it away.
No, I thought that was funny. Because I'd messaged a few of my mates as well before, being like, oh, yeah, if you see him, please can you try and sort it out.
I didn't think to do that, but that's a great idea. Like I posted it on our TunedIn account, and he reposted it, which is also very cool.
I saw as well, I got sent a video earlier where our friend Teddy, as we've mentioned many a time, he records John walking through the club. And you hear in the background, Ross has taken the mic in the club. He goes, shout out the student, shout out the, oh bloody hell, what do you
Student Podcast.
Student Podcast. Now shout out the TunedIn Podcast, and you can hear it in the background.
That's sick. I haven't even heard about this.
Yeah, they're, you know what I mean, the boys are backing us.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, 100%. That's two for me already. I think.
Every time I even think about that word now,
that is two for me. That is two for me. I'll take it. But because obviously a lot of our boys are still in York. Either they had a year out and they did the placement, or they were a year younger anyway and they're still there. Only
one did a masters, didn't they?
I believe. No, two. They live together.
Well, Fraser and JB.
Yeah, they live together.
Yeah.
That, I mean, we might be massive dickheads and completely forgetting someone, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But then, yeah, like a few placements, and obviously we've become friends with the group that they're now friends with around as well. And you know, we both know quite a lot of people, whether they're not in the group or not. So it's really nice. Like we were saying, we mentioned it, we touched on it last time.
It doesn't feel weird going back, does it? You feel like you're back in, back in the jungle, back in the prime time.
Yeah, like it's exactly right. Like it's like being back at home where we live. It's where we're both.
Just a few new faces.
Yeah, but it's.
And I'm not complaining about that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's like York will, of course, always have a special place in our.
Definitely, I could happily move back to York.
I was actually thinking that if I organised things a bit better beforehand, I wouldn't have minded starting my business in York, because I can operate from anywhere anyway. But it would have been pretty cool. But also at the same time, it probably would have distracted me more than I would have liked.
No, I understand that.
But never know. You never know.
We might have to get a tuned-in house in York.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
What else has happened? I know something. Obviously, the past couple of days. It is the past couple of days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, the World Cup. The teams come out.
Yeah.
I'm not too much of a footballer. I can ball. But in terms of football knowledge, I know enough to be able to socialise.
Yeah, that's what you need, really.
I'm not gonna sit there and go into the analytics.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a bit more involved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Tottenham's fan.
That's true. I'm a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, and I probably watch more football than you, just because I'll be honest, especially this season, I've only really watched Tottenham games. Saying that there's one on right now, which I am missing, but we're winning 4-3. Might change by the end of it.
Is Chelsea playing as well now?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I should probably know this.
Yeah, I mean, that shows.
I've been enjoying the City games as well, only because I think Haaland's just...
City are great to watch. They're a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a joke. Consider it the fact that...
They just lost to Brentford, didn't they?
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, and I was just about to say, they're my second team this season, because obviously Arsenal are at the top of the league right now.
Right.
I can't let that run.
Nah, I don't even mind about Arsenal, because I'd probably say...
It's typical Chelsea fan.
After Chelsea, I haven't even been to a Chelsea game. I've been to 3 Arsenal games.
Have you seen the... Oh, God, that's awful. Have you seen the Chelsea Arsenal fan memes?
No.
So Tottenham fans love it, because Chelsea and Arsenal fans is like... They band together because of how much they hate Tottenham.
Right.
So there's so many memes of Chelsea and Arsenal fans kissing whenever it's a Tottenham game. But so you're that stereotype.
Nah, I respect.
Nah, I mean, I respect it as well. I just because, especially now, the topic we're probably going to discuss now. They've got some English players that you have to respect. Like they've got 3. I believe it's 3. They might have more. They have Pardon?
Who's this?
So in the actual squad, they've got Ramsdale. No, Arsenal. Yeah, as much as I hate them, I have to when the World Cup does come around in a few months, or a month actually. Yeah, I'm going to be supporting Ramsdale, White, and Saka, because they're going to be part of my team.
Yeah. Saying
that, actually, I don't think I've told you this, but where I live, quite a few Tottenham and Arsenal players live in the same area.
Oh yeah.
And the other day, me and my sister have gone to our local Tesco's. I've stayed in the car. She's jumped out to grab a few bits. Some 2022 matte grey G63 G-Wagon pulls in, and I can see some young guy driving it. I'm thinking, I love cars.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, fuck, this guy looks about our age. Like, how is he driving this?
Who is it?
This? Pulls up, and I look at some guy with a cap, quite a tall guy with a cap, walks in. And I see
Deli Ali?
No, he's moved to Turkey now.
All right.
Yeah, he's in Istanbul now. So he walks in with. He's got
probably know that.
Yeah, it's a while ago now.
Shoot me.
he's got a lanyard on. I'm thinking, comes out. It's Aaron Ramsdale, like the Arsenal goalkeeper.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's crazy. And so where he lived, I know.
Did he offer to buy your shopping?
I didn't see him. If I was in there, I would have actually spoken to him. Do you know how I knew it was him as well? And I would have said this to him, so he probably wouldn't have liked me. It was a Tuesday, and that's Champions League, and they're in Europa League. So I definitely would have been a dickhead and said something along.
I bet he is the whole time though.
Yeah, but also like he'll turn around and say, we're top of the league. So
yeah, fair enough.
And I'll be like, yeah, fairs. Can I get a picture, mate? Yeah. No, but my little sister saw him. She's a big Tottenham fan as well. But it's quite cool. But so on that point, actually, I went to a Drake concert. You know, when he was in London a couple years ago. And I have a friend who got me box tickets, but for the same price as a normal ticket. Right. So obviously I took her up on that. Went and I saw Mark Noble and Andy Carroll when they were both playing for West Ham. Spoke to them.
Kind of, I wouldn't be able to put a face to these names.
You would definitely, you'd definitely know them. You'd 100% know their faces. But Tottenham just beat them that weekend as well.
Oh really?
And I said something. I spoke to them and then I did mention something. I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, it's
the game's the game.
Exactly, and they've got to, like, what they're going to say. They're going to go home and cry. They're not going to really care that much, are they?
Indeed.
Realistically.
And obviously, the middle camera. I'm talking to you right now. If you're wondering why we got the Mac on deck today, it's mostly for the second aspect, but we've also got a bit for the first aspect. So I set a task for both of us prior to coming to the podcast today, and that was to put together our starting 11 for the World Cup. Do you want to start with you?
Sure, can you actually get it up so I can remember?
Yeah.
So,
yours is there. I haven't actually compared them yet, but you're missing a player. I forget who it was.
You've done that wrong.
Because the formations, it didn't add up.
Okay. So, let me try it. Okay, so I've gone for a 3-4-3 formation. Because we're most likely going to play 5 at the back. And at the same time,
see, this is where your knowledge comes in, and I just have to stand like
well, at the same time, I could be absolutely waffling because compared to most of my mates, I don't know much about football.
Right.
But I mean, this is a mix of what I think is going to be played and what I would like to be played. So we're gonna have Pickford in goal. Ramsdale's been doing great, but I don't think he replaces Pickford. He hasn't had long enough in England squad.
Actually, no. I'll bring into my.
Oh yeah, sure.
Stuff after.
I mean, I think we're gonna have Walker, Stones and White at the back. Don't know how that's going to work because Walker and White are both right-sided. So I would like Dyer in there because he's a Tottenham player, but he's very shaky at the moment, as much as I love him. Then I believe I had Luke Shaw as a left wing-back kind of position. He's been doing great. Yep. I'm pretty sure he's fully fit as well. Might be wrong.
Yeah, there's a few players that aren't fit.
Yeah.
Like Reece James.
Yeah, which luckily... with the Reece James situation, there's a lot of right backs that are a good choice. Speaking of right back, it's a hard one because Trent's pretty good, obviously. His defending is whack though. Like his defending is shocking. Yeah. So,
but then I guess it is made up by his passing ability.
Yeah, I know, but
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's of course, it's crazy. And if we do play a formation, similar to what I've kind of said, you know, that's where he'll come in. But either him or Trippier. Trippier's pretty good all rounder as well.
He is, especially for England.
Yeah, I mean last World Cup, Euros. Yeah, last Euros he had a banger. And ex-Tottenham boy as well, so shout out him. Jude Bellingham has to play for me. Yeah, like the guy, he's younger than us, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and he's one of the best like midfielders, you know, out there. Crazy good. Do you watch much of him? Like, do you see much of him?
Oh, I see bits and bobs. His I was at a party in Reading and his ex was there. Right. Yeah.
Actually, an ex though, or just like
like the ex, the most recent ex, I believe it was.
That's crazy. And then I mean, Calvin Phillips has been injured for a while, but he was great for England again in Euros. But I would have Rice next to him. I think Rice is great. And then at front three, I would have Kane up front, of course, captain.
Yeah, you have to kind of.
You have like he.
What was the statistics? It was like 11 goals in 16 games or something.
What, for England or in general?
I think just a season.
He's had a goal a game for Tottenham, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, mad.
And it's only because Haaland's a fucking robot. That no one's really like
he's been shadowed.
He's actually been shadowed, which is what it is.
Yeah, but there's great and there's very good.
Yeah,
Kane is very good.
Arguable. I think all rounder he's probably.
See, if my old housemate Artie was, he's a Tottenham fan as well. He'd literally be like creaming.
I think I'd rather Kane in my team than Haaland, just because all rounder. Like Haaland, of course, you can't really replace. Like
I don't know.
Kane 2 seasons ago got the most assists and most goals in a season.
Yeah, fair play to him.
But anyway, we'll see how the rest of the season goes. And also, if Kane had De Bruyne feeding him passes, it'd probably be the same. And then the wing. Pardon?
No, Karen. I was just thinking what De Bruyne said.
Oh, the wingers. The wingers are probably the hardest kind of positions to choose from. But Sterling and Saka.
Sterling's a must. After that, after the Euros performance from Sterling.
Sterling's really underrated
100%.
because pretty much.
Oh shit.
We need to get some t-shirts with 100% on it.
100%.
But he's played his whole career in the Premier League, which is the hardest league in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, albeit for good teams, Liverpool, City, now Chelsea.
He's doing well for Chelsea.
Yeah, and he's good. And you can't. Yeah, he's one of the most experienced players in that team.
I think people don't like him though.
Yeah,
like people see him. Oh, what was it? I saw some. It was like a video a while ago where it was talking about different players and what they'd like if they were at a party. And it was like, oh yeah, Sterling, he'd know everyone, and he'd be walking around like the man, stuff like that.
Yeah, the press hate him as well.
Yeah,
have you seen that stuff? Like it's constant. The pressures hate him. Like he has like a gun tattoo on his leg, and the press like made that out to be like such a really bad thing.
Right.
And then he actually shot back and was like, it's actually a really deep meaning, and then he explained the meaning to do something linked to his family.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you can't hate the guy.
Yeah, people in the media just want to get paid, don't they?
100%. Sorry, that wasn't even intentional.
Oh, mate.
That wasn't even
Snap
intentional.
out of it.
Yeah, sorry. And this one for me was a hard one because
only because of his performance last.
You got to respect him, like I said. He's
Definitely.
an Arsenal boy, Saka.
Baller,
yeah, he is good. He is very good.
do you think it was the pressure last time?
Yeah, of course. It couldn't have really been anything else.
Yeah, that was just very unfortunate.
It couldn't have been anything else. And like Foden, you could argue Foden should go there, but Foden been very quiet.
I think I've put Foden.
Well, yeah, we'll get on to that in a few seconds. But yeah, like I think.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying because like the Saka situation. Only because I want to touch on the Saka situation. Like I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's his job to perform under pressure.
Yeah, but then no one then deserves to be racially abused afterwards.
No, 100. Yeah. Like the racist stuff. I only laugh because I almost said 100%. Again.
Oh, right.
That's why I said 100.
Yeah.
And
it's the wrong time to laugh.
Yeah, my bad. The racist stuff, of course, was awful.
Yeah,
and
that was kind of embarrassing for our country.
It was so embarrassing because it was our own people. But then it happens. You see it. It's still at football games. Sadly, it's still such a big thing. Not just with with that kind of situation. Like, I've seen a lot of different things, but good thing now people are actually getting punished for it.
Yeah, so that's the complete correct thing to do. One of my oh, you nearly said it.
No, I was gonna say like there's cameras everywhere in stadiums as well now.
One of my housemates, he was telling me yesterday, because I mentioned how we're going to be talking about the World Cup, and he said there was a boy at home where he lives who literally put on it was either his Instagram or a Snapchat story like a racist remark, like a blatantly racist remark. And you think, who in their right mind, like, especially with the understanding of racism now and everything, and how shameful it is, how are they putting it on a story, let alone saying it?
I know.
And apparently, the whole of their area were trying to beat him up, which is correct.
Yeah, good. I see Twitter as well. Do you use Twitter much?
Twitter's, I know my way around Twitter, but I don't, I think I'm followed by 20 people and I follow like 5 people.
Fair enough. Yeah, so like Twitter, the reason I say is Twitter is great if you use it properly. But
people say it's the best social media.
I would probably agree. Only because like, you know, all the, like the funny memes and stuff you see on Instagram.
Yeah,
they were on Twitter like a week before, and the people on Twitter like are so funny.
Is there no filter?
Yeah, and there's like heespecially now that Elon's taken over, which is actually something else has happened. Elon Musk bought Twitter finally, which is good and bad. I mean, I think it's great because I love Elon and think he'll do good things for it. But we'll touch on that in a sec. Actually, that would be cool. But there's like this group of degenerates, and they call it football Twitter.
Right.
And there's people that are literally...
Is it what it says on the tin?
Yeah, mate. So it's people literally will like have their profile picture as the player that they love.
Right.
The name, their name will be that player or whatever, or I love Chelsea or I love Tottenham or whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll just shit post, like they'll just rinse every single person.
Right.
And the reason I say this is because these...
When you say rinse every person, is it rinse every other footballer or...
Like anyone, like there's just one guy, his name's Stokey something.
Right.
He tweeted, so do you know what ratio is? Like,
yeah, is that when you get more likes than
the actual
likes
tweet?
on the comment yeah.
So basically what it is for people listening is someone tweets and then someone comments like ratio or hold this ratio. And then if that ratio gets more likes than the original tweet, then that's considered a ratio.
Right.
And this guy Stokey, whatever, he's pulled off some crazy ones. And yesterday actually, he was like, my next tweet I'm gonna ratio Elon Musk. And Elon Musk tweeted and he ratioed him. Like he got like twice as many likes as in like 50,000.
And he managed to do it.
Yeah. I don't know how he pulled it off, but he got so many followers from it as well. And it was just so funny. Like these people just and these people are, the reason I say that is because these people are actually, some of them are obviously not nice people and being racist, but a lot of them are actually like banding together and because they got such big followings are outing these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of stuff. No room for that. But yeah, do you want to talk about your team?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to talk about only because the knowledge is very limited. So once again, I've gone for Pickford in goal only because of...
It's 4-3-3 formation by the looks of it. Just so
yeah, I don't think I even changed the formation.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, Pickford in goal only because through experience he's doing very well, and for Everton he's doing well at the moment. We got Arnold at the back, only because his passing is ridiculous. I know there's a lot of controversy around his defence. Not everyone's perfect.
Yeah, except for you.
Yeah, except for me. So Walker, I just know he's a baller.
He is a very good baller.
I feel I had someone else in the back, but I ran it past my old housemate Pat, who's also a Chelsea fan. And I was like, so what do you think of this formation, Pat? And he said, oh, I'd maybe get someone else for someone else. I was like, you know what, that's a very good idea.
Someone else and someone else was?
Let me check. Yeah, I had Trippier.
Okay.
For Stones, I believe.
Yeah, so Trippier's a right back and Stones a centre back.
Or maybe it was Shaw.
So Shaw's a left back.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know what it was.
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, so
I think it was Stones. But
that's obviously the problem that managers have as well. So many great players, but you can only have so many of each position.
There's one person per position. Yeah, this is where my knowledge is.
Go for it.
On the week, and obviously Shaw in the back as well. I just know they're good ballers.
Yeah, I know.
In terms of midfield, had to put Mount there, just because, Mount's my guy.
Yeah, Chelsea boy.
Chelsea boy. I don't understand it, but I've had about 5 people come up to me and say you look like Mount.
You?
Yeah, exactly.
To be
bizarre. I don't see it at all, but every time it's said, I'm like, oh, cheers.
Yeah, if you shave.
Nah, because this beard is...
No, I'm saying if you did shave.
Yeah, someone even came up to me recently and said I look like Jack Harlow.
Someone said that about me and Mason Mount, and I'm me. I don't look anything like either of them.
Exactly. It's basic white boys.
Yeah, I mean, girls love both of them, so take it.
Hear that. Rice, just a baller, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
And I just know whenever our group chats popping off and Rice is mentioned, it's always positive.
I have a funny story about Rice, sorry, before you continue.
Yeah.
So I have a good friend that I went to, I went to school with between year 7 and 9. He won't mind me sharing this story. He played for West Ham Academy, and he's our age, and Rice is the year above. So, similar sort of age, but obviously only a year difference.
Yeah.
My friend and Rice lived together at one point when they were both playing for West Ham Academy.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. And I can't remember how old they were. They were very young, so way before all of this. And he showed me a video of Rice. This is before Rice popped off. Of Rice in these really, really short pants.
Yeah.
With, them yoga balls, the massive yoga balls. And he's staring at the wall and he just lobs the ball at the wall and just smacks himself in the head. These all have the uni life, as in with living each other and stuff, but without the drinking and the partying. They're all the training and the work. But the thing is, they don't know any different.
Yeah.
And the ones that do go down that party life usually fall off in terms of, And
that's similar to what our friend Abdul, who we go uni with, so he's Muslim, doesn't drink, and he said because he's never drank, he's not missing out on anything.
Yeah.
So I guess it relates.
He's a great laugh as well. Like, as in, I see him having.
He's an idiot.
No, but I see him having more fun than most people when they're drinking, and he's never.
I think that's because he's watching everything. Like, obviously, I'm not going to go into too much details, but there was an event at one student night where I had a situation. It was unfortunate. There was a number of people within the situation.
Okay.
Girls, which all happened at once. It was messed up.
Yep.
And Abdul was sat there laughing the whole time. And at one point, I had to sit on a bench. One girl came over. I spoke to her. Sorted it out. As soon as she got up, I was like, okay, calm. And the other one came over. And then the other one was just like, so the other one was just stood over her, like, watching or something. And Abdul, all I could hear is his stupid laugh in the background. And I was trying so hard not to smile when these people were getting so pissed off with me. So yeah, he's probably got it off a slight bit better because he sees everything and he remembers it all.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, alcohol is great, but he's having
a natural high.
Yeah, which is great. Well, yeah, sorry, continue.
Madison as well. I think I had someone else from Madison too.
I was gonna say Madison's an interesting shout.
I'm not sure who I had. I had someone else anyway.
Okay.
Just Madison. Yeah, I think Pat said about Madison. I swear that's the only two which I changed. Anyway, so then up front got Sterling, as we were speaking about earlier. Yep. Sterling's just performed so well. And I imagine this will be one of his last big events, won't it?
Maybe the Euros.
Yeah, right, okay.
Maybe the Euro. Yeah.
So we'll probably be. He'll want to perform.
Well, he's the most behind Kane. He's probably the most experienced player. Like, he's won the most in that team. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
City's a bit of a cheat code. No, him and Walker. So Walker, Stones, Sterling, Kane, Trent. They're all like the more senior players.
Yeah, and then on the other side we've got Foden. I don't think Foden played that well in the Euros, did he?
I don't think he's played that well recently either. He's been injured, but I don't think he's played that well.
He's got the ability. It's just he's just not.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of like struggled with English tax. Have you heard that saying before? English tax.
I'm saying, but no.
Yeah, no. So English tax is like something that, like, English players are a lot more expensive because they're English.
Yeah,
they're a lot more hyped up because they're English. Like, and obviously we live in England, and the Premier League's supposed to be the best league in the world and whatnot. But yeah, like when Foden burst onto the scene, he burst onto the scene, and it's hard to keep.
It was too quick.
Well, I was listening to an Elk Boys podcast actually today with Little Yachty, and they actually spoke about this exact thing, where it's like, I think it's today's day and age where people just love seeing new things all the time. They're always comparing someone, or an artist, a footballer, whatever, to their best thing. So it's like, if they're not always performing at their best, then they're not good, which isn't the case.
Yeah, it's just,
like you said, the media just
they're off trend.
Yeah, like the media trying to say that they're selling stuff off, like you said. But yeah, like then Grealish is a great example. Grealish and Sancho, actually. Like, I thought both of them were good players. I didn't think they were 100 million and 75 million pound players at all, like anywhere near. And it's kind of proven that now.
Sancho's not been picked, has he?
He hasn't.
Just because he's not been performing well enough.
Yeah, and the attacking position is probably our most
oversaturated.
Yeah, like our most talented area. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting team.
That will kill his ego.
Yeah,
because you can tell he has a big ego.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably quite hard to take as well, like on a personal level. Like, imagine, put yourself in them shoes. Like, you went to the last major tournament, you're young, you've got everything going for you, you've got a move to one of the biggest clubs in the world, not necessarily the best team at the moment, but biggest club in the world, and then, you know, it just gets pulled away from you, and then like
just left out.
All that needs to happen, is the attackers this year perform, and then he's never gets a look in again.
Yeah,
but I'd say the only thing about that team is Maddison's an interesting shout, only because I can't really see him getting many minutes at all. Because I think I think Maddison's great, but I don't really think he fits that well into the team. And I feel
time will tell.
Yeah,
we'll see.
No, I think
you don't know what could happen. You don't know who will perform well. Because we've got decent group, haven't we?
Yeah.
What was it? So we've got Wales, Iran, and USA.
Yes.
That's pretty alright.
I I mean, you couldn't really ask for.
You know what I mean?
Like,
I swear the Euros was similar. Very,
yeah, I mean,
very. We have a nice path.
Yeah, and the World Cup before, we had a pretty good one as well.
And the thing as well, Italy's not in it, so
Yeah.
I think going in would have been very nervous having them there.
Mhm.
Only because naturally you would. You lost the Euros to them. So I think now that they're out, there's a lot of pressure off them.
Mhm.
Only because it's like going back to swimming. If I go to a swimming meet and I know there's someone really fast there that I've seen before, throughout the day I'll just be a bit, not tense, but I'll just be like, oh God.
Yeah, because you know what they're capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is with the World Cup, though, there's a lot more teams that are capable of destroying us than the Euros.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Brazil, Argentina, even a lot of the African nations are doing really well at the moment. The thing is, like, the only team, Qatar's a weird one actually, like, as in Qatari actual team, because this is the first World Cup they've qualified for.
Right.
And when they won the rights to the World Cup, because it was like a long process, they were 113th in the World Cup ranking.
Mm-hmm.
They'd never qualified for a World Cup before. But I read that they'd spent, I think, 2 billion on developing youth players, and they've been going to other countries. Obviously, this started from 2010. They were going to other countries and picking up talent, and then bringing them over to Qatar, so that when they would come of like the age that we have to register what country, they could legally play for Qatar. And like 7 out of their 11 of their starting players, the last game they played, aren't even Qatari born. They were just legally allowed to play for Qatar.
Money buys you happiness.
Yeah, so that I mean, what's your opinion on it being in Qatar in general? Have you got much of an opinion?
I think it's going to be different for sure. I saw. I'm sure lots of the listeners will have seen this on Lad Bible. The best it was described as sports bar in Qatar. It's going to be £80 a pint. Crazy. I understand it. It's Qatar. There's a lot of money there. I think it might. It depends how Qatar kind of cope with it all. But if they're proactive and they really work on trying to kind of rebuild an image through the World Cup, because they've had issues like human rights and people dying. If they use this and capitalise on it and try and make a positive change, could do really well. Yeah. But then at the same time, what's the likelihood of that happening?
I mean, so the fact that when they won the rights to do the World Cup, they didn't even have any of the infrastructure, which is fine because I guess they've kind of done it with the money they have. But there's been thousands, I don't even know the exact number, that have literally died from building it, and they were getting paid £1 a day. It's like modern slavery.
Exactly. They get brought over to work, and then afterwards sent straight back home. Yeah, I remember studying about it.
I think so there's the Qatari population is like 2.7 million, and only 10% of that is actual Qataris. The rest are expats or immigrant workers, basically, which is fine. That's how their economy works and whatever. But the fact is, they actually get treated like second-class citizens and stuff. And have you seen a lot of the anti-Qatar World Cup sponsorships and brandings that have been coming out? So look at Denmark's kit. After this, Denmark's kit is really nice looking, and what they've done is they've made it all black, but including the sponsorship and the logo and whatnot, because they're trying to say we don't want any of our sponsors, we don't want to be associated with the Qatar World Cup.
I see.
And Brewdog, have you heard of Brewdog?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Brewdog actually did a anti-Qatar advertising campaign recently, saying because that Qatar, they're against same-sex marriage and all that kind of stuff, and it's they were I can't remember exactly what, but it was just called an anti-Qatari thing, and it's just we don't stand with Qatar sort of thing. So I think the humanitarian side's quite interesting. But
it's very deep.
And if you look into it as well, there was a lot of bribery coming out. That the reason they got it, because why should they everything was against them. The fact that they had no structure, the fact that they've got no football heritage, the fact that they've got the 113th best team. Why did they even get it? But it's happening, and also the fact it's in December.
Yeah, that's going to be different, isn't it?
Because Qatar...
No beer gardens.
Yeah, mate. Have you ever been to Dubai or Qatar or any of them? So in summertime, gets to 55 degrees. you can't stand it.
Ridiculously hot, yeah.
And then they're going to be expected to play football in it. And even the time they're going in December, it's probably the coolest time, but it's still going to be ridiculously hot.
Yeah.
So
I think it's going to be. I swear that all the stadiums have air conditioning, don't they?
Yeah, and
that's huge.
Yeah, crazy. And I think they've built outside air conditioning in certain areas.
Yeah,
as well because of how hot it is.
Yeah, that's mad.
And then you're expecting people to play football games. It's going to be interesting.
I think it'll be cool. It'll be different. Yeah. And yeah, as I said, hopefully moving forward, things can be a bit more positive from both the Qatar side of things and then also the relationship with the rest of the world.
Do you feel excited for the World Cup?
It hasn't really hit yet, but it's still exciting. Like when you see the team come out, because it's like the Euros. The whole nation gets brought together. Like that Euros final, man, that was unbelievable. Only because all your mates came down. I remember we were working at Hampton Court Flower Show. We were working in the car park, being idiots. Yeah. At one point, we were being so stupid. Like we'd all stand next to each other. So like a one-man job where you're going like this, like you're waving and you're pointing the direction, saying, "I'll go here." We'd have three of us stood next to each other, all going like that, and the people coming in would just be creasing. They'd just be laughing at us. We were just doing stupid stuff. Anyway, we were counting down the hours, and we finally were like, "Okay, we can go." Went to the final. Everyone just got absolutely hammered. And yeah, it was just going to the stations, even just hearing the chants. Like you don't get that, do you? Yeah. Obviously, if you go to a football game. But
so where did you actually watch it?
So our friend Jamie, he has a pub in Bromley. When I say it's
nuts, you said it is.
Yeah, when I say it's a pub, it's probably the nicest pub I've ever been to. Yeah. But don't gas yourself, Jamie. Yeah, crazy pub, loads of people. I think there was COVID restrictions, so there wasn't loads of people. Yeah. Yeah, loads of people just went down. It got a bit messy at the end. I'm not going to go into details. Yeah. Because I think everyone was a bit salty. Yeah. As you'd expect. Then we just went home afterwards. But yeah, something you'll always remember.
Yeah, my experience with the Euros was just a bit shit.
Yeah.
Not just because we lost.
You got robbed, didn't you?
Yeah. but so...
This screams victim.
Yeah, so we didn't have like a set plan of what we were going to do for like the Euros until the day before. Yeah. So me and my group of friends, and because of how last minute, of course, there was places selling tickets and like, you know, a lot of pressure. Like obviously, like you said, the whole nation's going to want to try and do something. So we luckily found quite a nice little pub in, I can't remember the name, but in North London, like the Barnet kind of area. And we were like, let's get there early. One, to reserve a good space, and two, it's a big occasion because I believe kickoff was at 8 p.m.
Yeah, but you're gonna start drinking from early.
Yeah, so we started drinking from early. So we met at 1 p.m. Just chilling, whatever. Didn't really start properly drinking till 3, 4 or whatever. But it was nice, like whatever, just chilling. Anyway, finally all set up. It was outside, you know, and had big screens going on. It was only a small space in comparison to most, but it was enough people there. Anyway, we've set up, and then we're sitting on like a long bench.
Yeah, I know the ones, yeah.
Yeah, just a long bench, and probably about 10 of us, I'd say. And these two ladies come up to me. So bearing in mind where we were sitting in a beer garden, but the beer garden was at the front of the place, and it kind of onto a busy road in North London, where buses and cars are just driving past.
So these old ladies, were they just normal looking?
There were two ladies covered up, like as in they just had a headscarf on. They just looked like two lovely little ladies. One of them's holding a map, comes up to me in front of me. When I tell this story, bear in mind there's a group of people around me. So like there's a lot of people around me, and this is how clever they were.
Audacity.
Mate, this one of them come up to me with a map in front of my face. Do you know how to get from here to here? Yeah. And then the other lady's obviously standing behind me, and I'm just thinking nothing of it. And then I goes, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not from this part of North London. I can't really help you here. She goes, oh okay, no worries, thank you so much, and then just left. I was having a conversation with a friend over the phone, so I thought it was been like 5-10 minutes. I'd started drinking. So, you know, like when you start a conversation, obviously you get on with your actual real life.
Get some with it. Yeah.
So I was like, let me get back to this conversation. I've gone to reach in my pocket, and I'm just like, I'm literally like,
this motherfucker.
I'm just like, I was like, 1 minute. I charged my phone over there about an hour ago. Let me just double check I didn't leave it there. I've gone over there, not there. My charger's not there either. My charger's where I left it in my little bag that I brought with me. I'm just tapping down my pocket. I'm like, this motherfucker, exactly as you just said, completely pickpocketed me.
What did they take? Just your phone?
My phone, yeah, which was peak because I had everything on there.
Yeah.
Luckily though, Karen I finished. So I'm just like, what the? And this is at like 5:30 at this time. So it was a kick off, and I'm like, I can't watch the game now. I'm pissed.
Yeah.
So I've gone outside now and I'm looking around. It's been 5 minutes. That's all.
That's enough time for them to get away, surely.
Mate, when you look outside, there's a train station 5-minute walk that way. Train station 5-minute walk that way. There's about 20 buses going past every 5 minutes. So many cars. Gosh, God knows where they've gone. First thing I did, borrowed a friend's phone, called my mum, said, listen, track my phone on and find my iPhone now. See where it is. Not there. Obviously completely gone. So that was a peak story. So I was like, mum, just come and pick me up. I don't want to be here right now.
Did you not watch the final?
Yeah, I went home to watch it though.
Really?
I was pissed off. I couldn't like.
I'd probably just drank through the pain.
Oh mate.
Oh wait, could you even pay for the fucking drinks?
Obviously, my friends would have like.
Yeah.
My friends were all like, "We'll sort you out," and I'm so pissed off. I'm not gonna be good company.
That's awful.
Yeah, and but the thing is, like, there was some like, because with me when I get annoyed, I really get annoyed, and just leave me alone, take myself away, and I'm cool.
Yeah.
But I had an old iPhone 7 Plus or whatever, and luckily, this is the lucky thing. I paid for the iCloud storage extra bonus thing like a week before.
Yeah.
So pretty much everything backed up. I lost a few things, but pretty much everything backed up.
That's very lucky.
So good, yeah.
And that's the worst thing.
That's what I was actually annoyed about, because
you can replace the phone, you can't replace the
memories and stuff. Yeah, the peak thing was that I got it given as a birthday present, and it's still like a year left on its contract, so like that's all gone. But I went to a local phone shop, traded in that iPhone 7 Plus, and paid like another 350 quid, and got exactly the same phone that had been stolen. But yeah, it was peak. It was really peak. And then obviously I go home, watch it. It was nice though, because I watched it with my family and my dad and stuff.
Yeah, I bet they appreciated that.
Yeah. So it was like,
or you having a temper tantrum running.
I just sat in my room, just trying to. Oh yeah, I was trying to unlock it. I was trying to like unlink everything.
Yeah.
From my iCloud, obviously for obvious reasons, but they probably didn't care. They probably wiped it and then sold it and then just went on with their life. But of all days, like you said, if it was another day, I would have just been home and been pissed off. But I was extra pissed off.
Yeah. It's not even a learning
curve.
Karma's
going to get them. Karma's going to get them. Or if it hasn't already.
The old bags.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's weird. The thing that annoyed me is because I've always prided myself on being quite street smart.
Yeah.
But then
just not today.
But then they're probably in their 50s or 60s. Like, two old like little women come over to me like.
They seduced you, Kai.
They did. They done me dirty. But anyway.
See, it could never be me.
Say that until it happens.
Too street smart.
But yeah, that was that really. But Euros was good. I mean, other than losing in the final, yeah. The women's team won as well.
Yeah, they did. They did. That was huge.
Yeah,
I think the country appreciated that as well, because I think for a while people haven't dismissed it, but they haven't really been as on board with it.
Yeah, people.
I think for them to actually win the Euros, that kind of put it into what's the word? Put it into.
I kind of gave it a bit more standing, I'd say, like give a bit more respect, like because women's football still hasn't. I think now it has, but before then it was still like, whatever. Yeah. And it's obviously a slightly different demographic, and I don't know if anytime soon it will reach the level that men's football did, just because of how much longer and how much more history there is and whatnot.
I mean, even comparing men's rugby to men's football is a big difference. Obviously, it's nowhere near as big a difference, but it's still. Like the numbers are. You'd
be surprised. Like there's a salary cap in Premiership rugby, and I don't know if this is still relevant actually, because I used to play rugby quite a lot, so it was a long time ago now. But like at the time, Johnny Wilkinson was like the highest paid rugby player. This was a long time ago now. He was on like 1.5 mil a year.
Yeah, I know. It's mad, isn't it?
And there's some shitters in football that are on that a month.
Yeah.
So
it's nuts.
Yeah, but it's all about someone who understands advertising. But wherever the most eyeballs are. They generate.
You're gonna get branding and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like you can't really hate it. Like I like it's like when a musician gets paid millions and millions. If they're creating value in terms of eyeballs for other companies, you can't really hate it, can you? They're doing something right. So
yeah. Well, that's a nice little cover of the Euros. I hope you've enjoyed listening about the Euros. But now we've got a different aspect. This is something in which I spoke to Kai about and said it'd be good to put it on our social media, see what people come up with, and it's around dating, because I know we've touched on dating before.
That's more your perspective and a bit
yeah,
of my perspective.
I think people enjoyed just hearing about little stories. Yeah, we've got a few different stories that were sent in. describing some incidences and some relationships that might make you raise an eyebrow. Would you like to read the first one, Kai?
So bearing in mind we put on our socials, we asked people to send us in some funny stories or crazy stories or whatnot about dating. I remember one of them that I'll say first because obviously it's all staying completely anonymous.
Yes.
And we actually have only kept this to ourselves, and we will of course keep this to ourselves. But I remember the person who I'm about to tell the story to telling me when it had just happened. And when they messaged me, I completely forgot about it until then.
Yeah.
And I actually when I read the message, I sat there just pissing myself laughing.
Pardon the pun.
Exactly, pardon the pun. Spoiler alert. So this young gentleman,
nice young lad,
lovely guy, went back with a fine lady after a night out, I believe. And he was so drunk that I don't think he would have done. Even in a drunk's fault, I don't think I'd ever do something this stupid.
Yeah.
But he went back to her uni accommodation.
Yeah.
So, bearing in mind, it's just her room with her bedding and all her belongings and everything she loves. And probably an ensuite. You don't know, but probably an ensuite in this room. He decided to pull his trousers down in her bedroom and just proceed to wee everywhere.
That's outrageous. That is outrageous.
In her bedroom, all over the place, just piss everywhere.
So bad.
Like, shout out to you. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, don't shout him out. That's awful.
So funny.
Yeah. No, that's the definition of butters.
That is honestly vile. Like, but
imagine someone walked in, just seeing whoa, just going all over the place, painting the walls.
I get I don't think I could. Some people just whack it out just wherever and just do a toilet or whatever. But I can't even do that when I'm drunk.
I just have to go to the corner so no one can see you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a bit, sensitive.
No,
but
I've learnt to mentally block it. now I just stand there proud. I'm like,
the fact that he's just done it inside in the bedroom.
So tapped.
That is an interesting story. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that one.
Can any of your stories beat that?
We'll see. That's very different because that's more crude and grotesque. Grotesque.
And it was actually almost. I feel like your stories are more so. The people sent them in were kind of the victim.
Yeah, he was the
victim. You know what I mean? He was the perpetrator in this situation.
Yeah, right.
He was the one who this girl would be messaging us about.
So we've got another one here. This is to do with cars. One of the girls sent this one in.
To do with cars, I mean.
Yeah, to do with cars. That sounds could be a bit mad.
Something like that.
It's not the guy that shags cars.
Pardon?
No, anyway, different story. Right, so the car story. Having recently been speaking to a new boy, we had been planning to go on a date in which required him to come and pick me up and take me to the destination. Now, when I tell you the attraction was short-lived, you best believe it. We had got 50 metres up the street when he managed to crash into my neighbour's Audi. My neighbour's Audi, that was. In my eyes, it was game over. Following this, I simply hopped out the car and walked straight back home. Awful.
So,
I think that's obviously it's completely different to the last one, but that's so peak.
So embarrassing.
Like imagine how embarrassing it is. But then again, if the neighbour's car's 50 metres up the drive, it must be a big house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that one's just imagine being in the moment. Only because I've got a similar kind of story where me and a girl we were just chilling, chatting in a park. But it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Doing whatever, just chilling, chatting.
As you said before.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, she left her light on so we could see one another, and her battery drained.
Yeah.
This was 2 a.m. in a random park, like 25 minutes from her house. So she had to call the AA and her dad.
Her car? Oh, you meant her car?
Yeah, her car.
I thought you meant like she was sitting over a phone.
No, her car. Her car, obviously, battery ran out at 2 a.m. Her dad and the AA had to come. And obviously, I was like, oh, this is too much for me. Yeah. Anyway,
you can't.
When they were like a minute away, I was like, okay, I'm going to go now.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, it's calm. Like, go. Just because imagine how awkward
that
would be.
So
like,
awkward.
Why are you in a park?
Yeah.
Just chilling and chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird, and it was just very awkward. Like it's just an awkward situation because like, what do you do?
Yeah, no, I probably would. Probably probably would have done the same.
But yeah, crashing into your neighbour's car, that's an ick if you've seen one.
Yeah. Did you reckon they went on a second date?
I actually asked.
Or first date, actually, really?
I think I asked, and did I ask? I don't know, but I can imagine no.
Yeah. How was he driving to, like...
I reckon I wouldn't have even crashed and I haven't even passed.
Because, don't get me wrong, there's some idiots on the road when you're driving, but, like... Yeah, but that seemed like his fault.
Yeah, that sounds
to drive into a stationary vehicle.
That sounds like quite a moron move.
Yeah, but...
Yes.
Just see another one.
You haven't read this one, have you yet? So this is, you can just read it as you.
What, the first one?
Yeah, the top one.
Okay, so I'd been seeing a lad a few months ago, and as things were starting to get relatively serious, I was blown away one day when I received a message from a random girl on Instagram. Okay, not knowing what association she had to me, I was baffled when she lied to me with the knowledge that she had been in a relationship with the same boy for the past 6 years.
Yeah, like still together.
6 years.
6 years.
Damn, son.
6 years, like what?
Yeah, what tops this is that, to my amazement, she went on to explain how she'd had his driving license suspended. And at that each time he had come to see me, or each time we had went on a date, he'd been picking me up in none other than his girlfriend's car.
Awful.
To make it more horrific, she then went on to reveal some unrecognised bank transactions she had noted, which correlated perfectly to the date he's been taking me on. I couldn't believe he'd been oh my, so she'd been paying for her dates the whole time.
She'd been paying for their dates.
So the girlfriend had been paying on...
The whole time.
The side girlfriend.
So the actual girlfriend had been paying for the cheated situation's dates.
There's a few... That's like...
Imagine seeing that. Imagine seeing like, oh, well, why were you at Carluccio's? Oh, I don't know.
I feel like that's the Twitter... what's it called? Tinder Swindler's apprentice.
Yeah.
Because that must have been how he started out.
No,
that's bad.
Yeah, that's really bad.
That is bad.
I wonder if they stayed together.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I would have been like, you've got £100 bill from...
It's the fact as well they've been going on multiple dates. Like, you have to be kind of crazy to think you'll get away with it. And especially, I have a feeling this might be York. And York's a small place.
Was it in York?
I have a feeling it might be.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit...
That is peak though.
It's a bit unfortunate. And now, this is actually a personal story. I thought it would be
So this is another segment of Aidan's antics that we're about to witness. I remember you. If this is a story I'm thinking of, I do remember you telling me the story.
Yeah, only because I remember being in this situation and thinking afterwards, this is stupid.
You almost seemed excited to tell me, but
yeah, no, it's because you know I've had multiple situations where it is something like
probably one of the worst.
Yeah, this is pretty silly,
pretty bad.
Right, okay. So during my second year at uni, I had dabbled with a certain someone after a night out. In my eyes, this was merely a bit of fun. Yet other sources soon brought to my attention that she quite liked me. Mind, I was completely unaware of this. The following year, I'd been on another night out. This time, a different day of the week, so a different venue, because you know how it runs on throughout the week. It gets broken up. Yet, through the common act of chatting and flirting, I began getting on very well with no other than one of the girls. So the previous girl, her friend.
Yep.
Her
friend.
Her friend.
Okay.
Which actually I had no idea about, but it turned out it was a very close friend.
I mean,
how would I know? I'm just...
Also depends on the situation. Sometimes
can't blame
people don't really care.
Well, yeah,
at uni, especially if it's nothing serious.
Anyway, as the night went on, we went our separate ways before I received a message wondering if I wanted to come round. Me being the poor, very naive boy I am, I said yes. Dramatic pause for effect. Let that one hold. When I got to the house, everything seemed fine and dandy. We were chilling upstairs, chatting, with the odd Eskimo kiss thrown in there now and again.
How romantic.
I heard a rustle at the front door. You guessed it. It turned out that the girl I had previous history with either lived there or was just visiting after the night out as it came to a close.
What time was this?
Don't know. This must have been early hours, 1, 2.
I don't know if she lived there, mate.
Do you reckon?
Must have.
I don't know. Anyway, as the night came to a close. Either way, she was there and so was I. We both panicked. She then went on to make sorry, where is it? She then went on to make me slide down the side of the bed so I was out of the picture in case the other girl unexpectedly entered. Inevitably, she did. Now my hopes of a quick escape disintegrated before my eyes. The girl persisted to sit on top of the bed, not alone, but with a couple of the other girls, crying about something quite deep. I couldn't contain myself, being me. I was having to open my mouth as wide as possible, just so I didn't breathe too loudly. It was killing me. Now, from what I remember, due to the length of time they were chatting, I actually was like coming in and out of consciousness, like falling asleep and waking back up. Like I can so vividly remember seeing the railings of the bed. It's going like this.
All 6'5" of you fit under the bed.
Yeah,
that's funny.
At this point, yeah. At this point, we both agreed. So after they'd left, at this point, we both agreed that it was too close of a call. We chilled for a little bit, but there was too much stressful energy. Basically, it just didn't feel right. To top this off, the bedroom door abruptly opened again. This time to a different housemate. I reattempted my previous trick, but this time I was too late. Only half my body had managed to slide down the side of the bed, with the top half still sticking out, gangly and defeated, and looking straight at her. It was game over. Both her and the girl I'd been visiting left the room, followed by an advisory statement that it was best I should leave. So I did. Despite our efforts, the original girl no longer follows me on Instagram. I thought that was an interesting story.
You made that seem so poetic when you told me it the first time. I just thought, what an idiot. I mean, I still think that, but still.
Yeah, it was a very bizarre situation.
Yeah,
but it was one I was like, this is a good story.
Yeah, that is actually a good story.
It felt like something from an American movie, like
American Pie or something.
Yeah. Like what's his name? What's the main guy? Stifler.
Oh yes,
it's like a Stifler situation. I was surprised I wouldn't have to jump out the window. Like, just
I thought you were about to say, like, if that happened in your room, like, because your room, as I told in the story before, you could have probably jumped out the window, because a lot of uni houses have first floor or ground floor bedrooms. But at the same time,
yeah, no, this was up there.
Yeah,
so that would have been
Nah, it's not worth it.
It landed in a
take
prickly bush
on the chin. I mean,
it was so bad though. You don't understand. When I was trying to squeeze down the side of the bed, and I just see her come through the door, and I'm stuck.
So I think I misheard. Was the second time the girl came in the same girl that you had history
No.
with?
So the second time it was a different housemate.
Oh, okay.
She basically came in and said, "I know someone's in there," but it was awful because they were on top of the bed, like she was crying, and I was below just like this.
Yeah.
And you know how bad I am with like emotional situations.
Yeah. Like in last episode when he laughed out loud when our guest was.
Yeah, I saw that in one of the reels. That looks so bad. When he's talking about getting beaten up, and I just burst out laughing. That was not the case. It was because Jono behind the camera.
Yeah. Who is Jono? There's no Jono.
Oh yeah,
you're just laughing.
The fairy. Yeah.
So laughing.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, on our way here as well, we actually got another story from one of the girls. Mm-hmm. It was a last minute one because I said, "Oh, we're recording in 10 minutes." And she said, "I'll quickly send a voice note."
Okay, go on. Do you want
to
elaborate?
I mentioned it to you beforehand. This one was just a bit strange, really. It's almost a bit cringy.
Okay. I don't actually think I remember it, even though you only told me recently.
The gold bars.
Oh yes, I do. Sorry, I do remember. Well, you explain, yeah.
Yes, she basically said she went on a date with a boy, and she hadn't been dating for a while. But her friends were like, they convinced her. They said, "You might as well.
Mm-hmm.
You go, girl."
Yeah.
She said, "Yeah, fine." Went on a date. Apparently it was all fine. They had a bottle of wine with their meal. Then they were like, "Oh, you know what? Let's go for some drinks." Yeah, okay. Went for some drinks, and this is when all the red flags started to come about. He said, this was an interesting one. I haven't heard this one before. He was like, "Oh, who's with Nationwide anymore? I've only got gold."
Gold what?
Exactly. He's like, "Oh yeah, I only keep gold."
Wait, as in like gold?
Gold. And he was like
a pirate with balloons or something.
Well, this links.
When you said, I thought you meant like gold cards, like the gold Amex or whatever.
No, because apparently he was like, "Oh yeah, he works with the mafia." So
That is something mafia people tell people on first dates, to be fair.
What, we only...
No, I work with the mafia. No, as in like, the mafia. If someone said you work for the mafia, they probably don't.
Oh, really?
I'm undercover Fed, actually.
Yeah, so there was that. That was bizarre.
Yeah.
But then it was more red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think he said, what did he say? He said, oh yeah, I chat to my ex-girlfriend every single day.
What, as in like still now?
Yeah,
like,
chats every day.
That's a bit weird.
Apparently it got a bit awkward as well because he was showing photos going through the Instagram and stuff to her. That's awful. That's like a Teddy move. No, I'm joking. Teddy's learned his lessons. Anyway, doing all that, doing the absolute most.
Yeah.
And then pulled out oh yeah, you're gonna meet my mother next week. I think that's odd as it is, but then I think the worst bit was I remember hearing this. It was this is dark. Like, this is pretty fucked up, dude. She says, oh yeah, he started talking about his mates and their girlfriends, and was like, oh yeah, they abuse their girlfriends. Yeah, like, what? Right, what the fuck?
And why would you say that?
It's on a date. And obviously she was kind of taken back, like, wait,
Right,
what?
rightfully so, yeah.
Yeah, and basically he kind of proposed that it was perfectly fine. So I think she got very weirded out and just wanted to escape as quickly as possible. But I think it's good to hear stuff like this, because that means I'm not going to say this stuff.
I hope
I'm
not.
joking, I wouldn't say it
yeah,
anyway.
I hope not. Yeah. Damn.
It's odd, yeah.
That
very
is
odd.
Very odd. Like, surely on like first dates and stuff. Not that you wanna. I just thought people would be a bit more.
It's all about first impressions.
Yeah, I'm just a bit confused. Like, maybe. Not trying to defend him. He's clearly still in love with his ex-girlfriend.
Apparently she was a rocket.
Yeah, they're probably still together. Like, they're probably back together then. If he's, I don't know what he's like. So maybe he's just trying to get his mind off it or something. I don't know. But what an idiot! Fuck that.
Yeah,
guy.
that's. I think that's embarrassing. But if you are part of the mafia, please just allow me in it. This is all for entertainment purposes.
Oh yeah, this is not real characters.
Yeah. This isn't Aidan. So yeah, I thought as well for a first kind of questionnaire thing on our stories, I think we've had a good few responses. I think it's quite funny.
I think in the future, as we start getting a few more listeners and whatnot, like I would love to do a section where people send us in, like the Fellas podcast almost, where people, and Waffling, where they send in like their relationship queries, and it's like, what's that? Is it Agony Auntie? Have you seen them things?
No.
I think it might be an American thing I've seen in a film, where it's like a column in a newspaper where you type your like relationship problems and whatnot, and then they kind of give their take on it, because I feel like we could give serious but also like
and different perspectives. You've got the kind of girlfriend, like,
yeah, but
you need to be careful what you say, whereas I can say whatever.
Well, no, I feel like because it wouldn't.
You're on ropes.
Wouldn't be. Yeah, mate. It wouldn't be. Like, as in, we can make good content out of that. Like, I think it'll be really funny and some great stories. But yeah, that's for the future.
Especially when we have a larger catchment, because I think a lot of stories we'll have heard as well, because they're our mates.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, I thought that was pretty interesting. And I'm just wondering if, because I might divide this into the two clips and chuck in a little. We came up with something called the AK Shorty Heaven. I told Kai about it at first, and Kai was confused at first. Then he realised it's decent wordplay, no?
No, it's clever wordplay. Yeah.
Obviously, Aidan, Kai, and everyone.
What's up, Shouty?
Yo, Shouty, how you doing? Obviously, if you play Call of Duty, you know about the AK-47.
Yep.
AK Shorty Heaven.
Nice.
I thought that was not too bad. So this is the AK Shorty
God.
AK Shorty Heaven segment. You dig? Anyway, I've enjoyed today's episode.
I have as well, actually. Yeah.
I think we've been I felt a lot more relaxed today, actually.
So did I. Funny you say that, actually. Time went pretty quick.
Yeah, it flew by. Especially because it would be fucking 20 minutes. I was 20 minutes late because I was getting confused at Canary Wharf.
As again.
Yeah, stupid station.
Yeah, it is actually.
Really stupid station. But yeah, I'll be definitely interested in bringing more like the listeners' perspectives into things, because we have lots to hear. We have lots to talk about, But then some of you might have some crazy stories.
Yeah, and it's nice collaboration as well, because like you say, a lot of our listeners now are friends with us or in our kind of warm network almost. So I think it'll be nice just to to get people involved. And
I reckon we should do a podcast as well. Maybe get obviously us two, then maybe get 2 of the girls on, or maybe 2 of the girls, 2 of the boys. Hear their perspectives as well. Yeah. About a few different situations.
Definitely, we'll work something out.
We will, because we've had a lot of people saying, "Can we come on the podcast? Can we come on the podcast?"
You know who you are.
But yeah, you two girls know exactly who you are, and this is what I've said to everyone. If you can come here with an interesting story, an interesting debate, or an interesting perspective, even, of course we'll have you on.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're coming here saying we're just gonna have a chit chat, that's me and Kai's job.
Exactly, we're the ones that waffle.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you then, guys, for tuning in.
Episode 4. God, it's ticking on, isn't it?
I know.
Episode 4.
Yeah, we've been good. Enjoy it as usual.
We've got hopefully something in the works for next week.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's all been planned. It's been booked.
Are we gonna say? Or
no.
We'll say what industry it's in. It's in the music industry.
Yeah, we've got something cool coming on. But people will hear on our socials. But Aidan, to finish off, would you like to hold my hand as usual?
Oh, it'd be my pleasure, Kaiyan.
That's the first time I've actually asked.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you. Thank you for listening to episode 4 of the TunedIn Podcast. Hope you enjoyed.
Oh, it's episode 4.
Damn.
Jeez, tuned in episode 4. Thank you guys for listening.
Love.